friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome in, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the New Makeup Hangover. So, New Makeup Hangover is the part deux to the New Makeup Nonsense Bingo. The Hangover is something I created with my dear friends Teresa and Audra. Teresa is dead, and Audra at home, whom will be on the screen. They are amazing creators that I feel so fucking lucky to call my friends. Here's the thing. We do New Makeup Nonsense Bingo about every other week, and we imbibe in alcoholic beverages and talk about new makeup and play a bingo game. The Hangover is the week after, where we have chilled out. There's no bingo game. There are no alcoholic beverages. I am having an iced coffee because queer. Happy Pride Month, by the way. But honestly, I drink about as much iced coffee as I do water, which is a lot of both. And we talk about new makeup releases. So because we film ahead of time with these videos, we miss things. Things get, a little bit old sometimes by the time we come back around to bingo, and other times we just don't get an opportunity to talk about things in bingo. So this is just a selection of products either I want to talk about, y'all tagged me on Instagram, which thank you all to have started doing that. Please keep that up. Tag me on new release posts on Instagram so that I can save them and talk about them. Or they were left in comments or asked by my patrons. We have a whole mix of ways that we get to these products. So it's less complicated, even though the amount of time I've spent talking probably feels like that's a lot. It's less complicated, it's more laid back, and we have fun with this, of course. So I have some products tucked away to talk about, and I'm very excited. If you like colorful makeup, if you like bitches with lots of opinions, or do you just like cute fat babes, I would love to have you as a new subscriber, and my Patreon and my channel membership are also just amazing ways to support me, and I really appreciate my patrons and my channel members and all the love. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm honestly just gonna start with the first thing that I am the most excited about, but let me give y'all some space for photos. Has anybody already guessed? Guess in the comments what you think the first release I'm gonna talk about is, because y'all bitches that have been around, you probably already know. This new palette that Lethal Cosmetics is releasing. So they have a new collection launching July 1st. It's the One Up collection. There are a bunch of new gloss tones, 6 new lumen glosses, 5 sparkly color shifting ones, and their first ever clear gloss. And they said they have upgraded formulas, which is interesting because I've never tried the glosses, but I've heard they're a thinner formula, so I've kind of stayed away. But anyway, but I'm glad I'm not drunk, actually, because, well, my feelings are already strong enough. This arcade palette. So it's a 12 pan eyeshadow palette with 3 UV reactive neon mattes, 3 classic mattes, 3 trichrome metallics, and 3 duochrome metallics. When I saw the real sneak peek of the cover, I literally sent Audra and Teresa Marco Polo being like, what the fuck is this? Because my friends get lethal PR, but they didn't know, but we were all like, what the fuck is that? So here's the thing. I have shat on shaped palettes in the past. I have shat on palettes with odd layouts and empty space inside. I get why people might not be into this palette, but I am so fucking into it. So not only does the color story just scream my name, not only does it have neon mattes, which I'm curious to see if Lethal has like possibly broken the neon barrier. I don't know, neon mattes are very tricky to work with. I'm not expecting the same matte formula as Lethal mattes. But the like 3 neons, 3 classic mattes, 3 duochromes, 3 triochromes, mwah. The half green yellow, half pink purple, I love this. And here's the other thing. It's a magnetic palette. So these are a smaller pan size. They're the 20mm pan size, which I think is what the Berlin palette was and maybe the Jolena palette, but it's magnetic. So these are just a pretty color story for my single eyeshadows. And then I have a fucking cool as shit piece of art to display. I'm owning that. I want it. I was born in 1984. I love video games. I have been like, I played a fair amount when I was a kid, and then I kind of fell out of it. And honestly, because of my friends and because of and like them streaming on Twitch and all of that, I have like reignited my love of games, and I'm like about to buy a Nintendo Switch. Finally. I was a Nintendo kid. Anyway, so nostalgia and all, I love it. So I totally understand those that don't. I get it. But like, I'm buying the palette. I think I'm going to skip the glosses because I have a lot of glosses. I've picked up a lot of lip products lately. Oh, but this palette, like everything about it is just shouting to me. It is $38 or 42 euros. And the colors are not available individually, I think because they are the smaller pan size. So yeah, I'm picking it up. I don't know, like, I think it's limited edition, so I don't know how long it's gonna last, like after the initial launch. But it launches July 1st at 4 p.m. CEST, which is 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, taking a breath because I know I talked a lot about that, but oh my fucking God, I am just so in love. Let's go to something. I haven't grouped these up because I'm coming in kind of unprepared, which is not that unusual for me. But I haven't grouped these up this time around. But I am going to talk about Rhode, the new skincare brand. Is it Rhode? Just Rhode, I guess. RHOD. And so this, I feel like, has been like one of those celebrity lines that has been teased out for just way too fucking long, because the fact that it launched with 3 items, like, I applaud a small launch, a thoughtful launch, but because there's been so much build up to this, in my opinion, I just, and then the photos look. My dear friend Audra talked about this in the bingo, and so if I am cribbing some of their notes, I apologize, but the lip photos, none of the lip photos look appealing or enticing. especially the two on the left-hand side, actually look kind of offensive to me. Like, they look violent. I know I'm probably overreacting, but they, especially with the dripping from the nose and the way that they are so large, and I'm not gonna say that they're like unnaturally large, because it's possible, like, everyone's lips are different sizes. So I don't want to say like, oh, these are unnaturally large, but the way that they are posed and glazed and drippy, it makes the whatever natural shape these models' mouths are, makes them look to me more unnatural and swollen. As I said, kind of in a violent way and not in a yes, give it to me, mommy kind of way. Yeah. So it's a peptide glazing fluid, which is Hailey's signature step to dewy glaze skin. There's a barrier restore cream, and then there's the lip treatment. The two skin items are $29 and the lip treatment is $16. Here's the thing. Without these lip photos at that price point, I would consider picking up the lip product. I don't care what Hailey Bieber, but like, I am a sucker for lip treatments because I struggle. I mean, yeah, my lips are perpetually dry. I'm testing the waters with like super big lashes, and while magnetic lashes are a savior from the goddess and giving me a lot of like big energy, I might have flown too close to the sun. I'm not actually mad at the choice of products that are being released. I'm whelmed at best, most likely underwhelmed. But it's the lip photos that really just they bother me. Like a lot. Let's move on to something that felt kind of cute. Another patron, April, tagged me in this release. It is a new duo series of shadows, blushes, and highlighters from Cara Beauty. It's the See Me Shine and the Sky High Deep Dreams sets. Both palettes consist of 10 shades featuring 4 mattes, 4 shimmers, 1 blush, and 1 highlight. And they're $18. So Cara Beauty I heard of because they added a dear friend Thorn to their PR list, and I always love seeing my friends win. So I've had my eye on them for a while now, but I haven't purchased anything. And I have to say, I kind of love these little like magnetic duo palettes. So I think if I'm looking at this right, it's like I think did Amor Eterno, did Melt do that, the skull, the Vida Muerte palettes, how they were magnetized together. So like you have 2 separate palettes, but you can also, I literally don't have, I don't have 2 palettes the same size here. But you know, you have 2 separate palettes, but then they also like connect like this so they can store. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I just think that this concept is actually kind of cute. Color-wise, like neither of them really call to me. They remind me of Sol and Mar palettes that I just talked about last week with ColourPop, especially the See Me Shine set. But as I'm looking at that again, I'm like, oh, but like a really juicy orange blush? That's actually, I'm going to give Cara Beauty that because I don't think that, like, I know orange blush is getting more popular, but I still feel like it's a little more of a, like, at a budget price point, I feel like it's kind of harder to find. So anyway, I don't necessarily want either of these, but I am kind of feeling the packaging and the concept, and like I like, if I was playing bingo, I would be like, oh, drunk me would buy this. Or if I saw this actually out at a store, might be tempted. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, because I think they're actually pretty cute. Like, in concept and art, less so than in, or like more in concept and art than in the actual makeup inside. I don't know if any of that made sense. We go from a palette that I am like maybe into conceptually to something that just Urban Decay has released a Naked Wild West mini palette. There are 6 shadows in it: Bud, Standoff, Cowboy Rick, Spur, Rustler, and Whiskey. And they are all from the large palette, and it's available now. And why? You know what I actually hate? You know what I hate the palette packaging on this. This looks so cheap. And you know what I also hate? I hate when a brand has multiple formats of like the same hand size. Because Urban Decay, did you not just release 6-pan bullshit palettes that where the pans were all vertical, like your pants from? This just looks cheap. It looks like knockoff makeup. And also, it's like half the palette is a whisper of pigment. That was even a stronger whisper than it really deserves. Like, I just hate everything about this. And of course I do. Of course I do. But it's like you just released those other palettes that had the kind of cool camo outside. I feel like if they had just used that style of packaging, I would not feel so intensely full of hate for this. But something about it just reads so cheap, and I know the brand has other ways of presenting 6-pans, and it's also just like okay, let's just keep going with the So Physicians Formula has a new Breakfast Club collection. There are 3 matte-looking lipsticks and a Saturday Detention Face Palette Volume 1. So, first of all, did this person open the lids of the lipstick and not buy them, but photographed them? Because that is fucking disgusting. The 80s were about glossy lips. Breakfast Club, like the looks were kind of like natural glossy lips. Why are you releasing matte lipsticks? But also this face palette. What? I should no longer be surprised by Physician Formula. I really shouldn't be. But what the fuck is this? And why is it in collaboration with the Breakfast Club? And why is this is it some new animated thing? I tried to look it up, but I couldn't see. I was like, it's the Saturday Detention, like some revamp. I hate, I try to not give Physician Formula attention because, like, they know what they're doing. They're doing it purposefully. They're for white people. They're for white people that don't give a fuck about anybody else, in my opinion. But like, these face powders, it's seriously hurting my brain. Yeah. And And they have the audacity of charging $20 for that? Get the fuck out of here. Let's talk about a couple of big palettes that just... God. Okay, so first was a request from somebody in the comments about the Jolie Beauty Ethereality palette. It's a collection because there's multi-curve liquid shadows and air matte lipsticks. This is a really big palette, but it's colorful. It's 28 shades and it's like pink to purple to, I mean, it's basically like a moody rainbow without the red, orange, yellow, because there's pink. Anyway, it's, oh, fuck. I didn't realize they released green lipstick with it. Oh, no, I'm good. Real-time reaction. But the palette is like theoretically pretty, but it's just way too big for my palette taste. I know myself. I know that like 12 pans, maybe 15 pans is about the biggest size palette that I can really like fuck with, unless it's a magnetized palette where I can pull things out and play with them myself, because I don't find myself reaching for big palettes. And they can be as pretty as like, just, they can be stunning, but I don't find myself reaching for big palettes. And like, it's right here to prove me wrong, but the only one that proves me wrong is Blends. And I've talked about this a billion times now, so I'm not going to keep going. But like, that's my thing, is that especially with a brand that's fairly new to me, if this had been like a collection of like 6 to 9 pan palettes, like a couple of different palettes, a collection of smaller palettes, this is what I'm saying, and the lipsticks, I might have been like, oh, I'll grab a small palette and a lipstick. Honestly, because like you saw real-time reaction to that green. And it is a pretty color story, but it just feels overwhelming, and I don't think that like every release needs to cover all of the bases. But I think it's such a fun color story that like I want to root for them, but I don't want it. But let's go ahead and talk about the other big palette that I have saved. There's a pot 2 of the Glamlite and Michaela collab. This is another 30 pan palette. It's $42. There's going to be more items. It releases July 2nd. Okay, you see how many greens are in there. This could have suckered me in. But again, I'm in big palette, like, I feel very meh about big palettes, is basically what I'm trying to say. And for me personally, I think that there's a lot of closeness with some of these shades, like the 2 shimmery greens in that middle row, even a couple of the matte greens. Like, there's just, I don't like the layout. There's a lot of things about the layout that I don't enjoy. So it's just a no. I see it and I like see everything that makes me annoyed or frustrated, plus it's a big palette. So I'm just like, no, we're gonna hold off. And like, yeah. So congratulations, Michaela. You almost got me with those greens, but like, I'm good. But anybody that wants it, fucking enjoy. I'm just must resist, even though emeralds are such beautiful tones for eyeshadows. Okay, let's just talk about something that made me go, what the fuck? And I was kind of annoyed that I didn't talk about it while I was a little tipsy last week. But the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Blush. This is an ultra lightweight moisturizing blush infused with micro droplet pigments that blend seamlessly into skin for a sheer touch of color and natural looking flushed effect. As if you just spent the day in the great outdoors. I think that's sunburn. You should probably not look like that. Well, nah, okay. Maybe my joke didn't work. Developed using microfluidic technology. That's such a phrase. The visible microdroplet pigments melt into the skin upon contact, offering a barely there finish and healthy looking glow. It's 75% water and it's $50. So there's the reason why I let me stop looking. My trypophobia does not enjoy looking at that product. And this, to me, I know that luxury beauty has already been doing this, but this feels like a very, like, actually Chanel has done this, I feel like, a little bit lately. Lately meaning like, I don't know, in the last year. But I feel like there is this, like, let's give you, like, clean girl makeup, no makeup, and charge you a fuck ton of money for it. And that's what it sounds like with this formula, because the, like, really glowy, sheared out, like, it's almost like skincare, but it has some color. I don't want it. I actually kind of feel like that could be an interesting skin, like, product. Maybe they already exist, but I feel like, no. I mean, I know I didn't want it because, like, sheer blushes, especially sheer liquid blushes, are just like a get the fuck away from me kind of mood. And so I have a hard time, like, being that enticed by this kind of release. I don't know. Everything about it makes me go, no, nice try, Chanel, but no. But has anybody tried this? Like, I don't know. And I mean, the color range is very, very white. That also, yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to quickly talk about this, because I actually think this is a fun little thing. So J.Cat has released their new House of Queen palette collection. So there are 4 palettes, and each palette has 15 shades, and the palettes are $12. The main reason why I wanted to mention this is because that each palette has 5 mattes, 5 shimmers, but also 5 water-activated liners. Now, I have no idea what J.Cat's water-activated liner formula might be like, but I have to say I'm pretty fucking into, like, small, like, more budget brands bringing water-activated liners to the party. And I feel like these color stories are pretty fun to me, and, like, they're tempting. Like, they even tempt me, and, like, I can't vouch for the J.Cat eyeshadow formula, but I do just think, like, even if I just wanted to play in water-activated liners, I would consider picking up one of these, because to spend $12 for 5 shades, I'm just kind of into it. It's intriguing seeing the, like, kind of Indian editorial makeup trends hitting more mainstream. I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? Like, would anybody be tempted by J.Cat if you were like, I want to play with water-activated liners, but I don't want to make a big commitment? Like, let me know. The last thing I'm going to talk about, the last thing, is the audacity, the unmitigated gall of ColourPop to bring back the Luxe lipsticks in collaboration with a Marilyn Monroe impersonator. It's all very Hello Hollywood. I have heard some things about this person. I will put her name on the screen. In terms of going after other people that impersonate or Marilyn or look like do her shtick. I don't know how much of this is like public or if this is more like deep social media community stuff, but I was informed about it, and I don't fucking like that person. Just no. And they have collaborated with them, and there's a couple of eye pan palettes, a couple of glosses, and a couple of lip kits. And at one point in time, I really enjoyed the Luxe lipsticks. Although I'm looking at the packaging, and this packaging actually looks much cheaper than the initial Luxe lipstick launch. So I guess I'm not as tempted. But yeah, I just they seem like a see you next Tuesday. And I'm realizing that I have plenty of pink and red lipstick options for myself, and I don't have to be tempted by the silly siren song of the Luxe lipsticks, because we all know ColourPop can't do a lip formula. Like, they can't hold on to a good lip formula, it seems. I'm gonna stop talking about that person because I might have already said too much. I don't know, this was just a very, like, you know, makeup release. I'm more excited about some of the things being released than I was during bingo, I will say that. I also actually picked up a palette Glisten did in collaboration with Rhode Singh, and that collaboration had like gems from this creator's brand, and it's a 9-pan split pan water activated liner palette, and I'm very excited about it, but it just sold out. So I was going to tell you about it, but anyway, the point that I'm mentioning that is that there is makeup. There is more makeup in this week's video that I was possibly tempted by or very excited by than I feel like there was in last week's. Actually, fuck it, let me just also mention this Pat McGrath like glittery rainbow exterior shiny lipstick release. Fuck. I'm trying to forget that they exist, but my gay little heart is very like the Femme Barbie queen in me is like, give me that packaging. And also I love that kind of lip formula. Not that I've tried it, but that's the kind of lip formula that I am drawn to most often. Anyway, all that to say, I gotta try to forget that it exists. So there's that. I guess I wasn't completely done talking, but yeah. So let me know your thoughts on anything I talked about. I feel like I got so hot and bothered about Lethal that like everything else is just kind of like a blur. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to keep tagging me in Instagram posts of anything you would like me to talk about in bingo or hangover, and we will all do our best. And by we, I mean Teresa, Audra, and I. We will all do our best to keep talking about the shit that y'all are excited about, or that you just want us to roast to absolute shreds. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you again to my patrons, my channel members. Feel free to subscribe if you have not already. And don't forget to take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday. And I don't know why I felt so sultry saying that, but I did. Bye, friends. There's the chaos again. It's never far.